Very serious issue. This is an emergency. That's why I'm, posting this video very quickly. So a vinyl lacquer plant in California, the Apollo plant, one of two only vinyl lacquer pressing plants in the world, just burned down yesterday. So it's a very, very serious issue. It's a big emergency. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, nobody was injured, but the whole facility was destroyed. And since there's only two plants in the world, the Japanese plant is already, booked way into the future. So this is going to put a big, big bottleneck, a big holdup on vinyl getting pressed, from different companies all around the world. Because a lot of different companies, they'll produce vinyl, but all their lacquers are coming from one of two companies. And this company, the Apollo Masters company out of Banning, California, just burned down. So this is very, very serious for anybody that, is trying to get vinyl pressed this year. For all the Kickstarter supporters, the Skater Girl 7-inch vinyl that's going to be dropping this year with the film. So everything's, it seems like this thing could be pushing things back a little bit for the vinyl industry in general. So I'll read what this article says. All right, so Apollo Masters, a manufacturing plant that supplies the lacquer used for making master discs, which are used to make vinyl records, suffered a fire on Thursday, February 6th, at its manufacturing and storage facility in Banning, California. The Desert Sun reports. No employees were injured in the devastating blaze, which completely destroyed the facility. A note on the Apollo Masters website reads that we are uncertain of our future at this point, and we are evaluating options as we try to work through this difficult time. Figures in the vinyl record production industry have expressed similar concern. From my understanding, this fire will present a problem for the vinyl industry worldwide. So this is really serious for the vinyl. But, thankfully nobody got hurt. Ben Blackwell, co-founder of Third Man Records, told Pitchfork in an email that there are only two companies that make lacquers in the world. And so this company, the Apollo company in California, and then the other is MDC in Japan. And they already had trouble keeping up with the demand before this development, like I was saying before. So the MDC company in Japan has been, up to the brim with orders, and so this is going to put up a big holdup, unless a third party comes out and starts producing it for the world, and so we'll see what happens. But maybe these prices might get affected. This could make vinyl production prices go up a whole bunch. But maybe not. Who knows? Maybe somebody comes out of the blue and changes it. But this is a very big, very, very serious issue for the whole industry. And I'll continue reading. Blackwell also wrote that there have been whispers of another company entertaining the idea of entering the lacquer marketplace, but that Apollo was the only primary or possibly only supplier of the styli that are used in the vinyl pressing process. I imagine that this will affect everyone, not just Third Man Pressing and Third Man Mastering, but to what extent remains to be seen. In addition, Blackwell clarified, I don't want to be an alarmist, but I'm attempting to be realistic as opposed to being Pollyannish. The Twitter account for Duplication, a Toronto-based CD and DVD duplication pressing and printing company, wrote, disaster for the vinyl pressing industry, and there will be a lacquer shortage and possibly plants having to close or scale back operations for a while. So that's really serious, right? So there's going to be, seems like there might be a big downsizing in the industry. So now let's look up exactly what the process is. So if you don't know what a lacquer master is, so I'll read this. The key to a successful pressing: there are 3 steps required to get a record pressing underway. The first one is getting the audio source. So you give them the audio. That's the first step. You give them the audio file. And then the second step is they create the vinyl, the lacquer master. So you give them the audio file and they create the lacquer master. And then third, they create a metal stamper. So they use that metal stamper to press into to soft vinyl, and it presses the vinyl and squishes it, and they heat it up, and it squishes it like a pancake, and it makes a vinyl record. So the lacquer, that's the actual thing that squishes the vinyl. That's the problem. So it's not the problem of the actual vinyl, but it's the lacquer, the pressing that's that's going to be having problems. So now, right now, there's only the company out of Japan that's able to take up the slack, but they're already all booked up. What is a lacquer master? It's an acetate coated aluminum disc measuring 14 inches in diameter. So that's bigger than a vinyl. So vinyl, is generally 12 inches, or you might have a 7 inch. So this is a 14-inch plate. It contains all the grooves that represent the final mastered sound of your record. The exact same grooves that will end up on each and every record we press for you. All right. So creating a lacquer master is a one-time process and wouldn't happen again in the event of a reorder. All right. So once you get your master, like when you see the masters on the wall, it's that type of thing. The master presser is the actual, this lacquer that can actually press all the other copies. So this is really serious for turntablism in general because, as many of you may know, vinyl is having a resurgence, and turntablism and the indie rock world are both part of that. So this could definitely affect a lot of record companies around the world. Especially a lot of indie labels and things like that. So shout out to all the people out there that are producing vinyl and putting out vinyl. And speaking of vinyl, the Skater Girl vinyl is due to come out this year with the film. The Skater Girl 7-inch battle record. Side A is complete. We'll be releasing Side B soon. But yeah, with this, this, who knows, this could delay things. So we'll hopefully we'll give you some updates and things like that. But yeah, this fire is really serious. But thankfully nobody got hurt, nobody got injured. But the whole industry is obviously going to be injured, and all the professionals are saying it. So to be more specific, if you want to know more about the process, so they master it through a series of EQs for the standard normalization, so that it meets the RIAA standards. All right, so they master it for you, then they lacquer it, and they make that 14-inch disc that can press all the other discs and make as many copies as you want. So this is like the master disc for everything. So it's very, very serious. All right. So let's look at some of these other. Pitchfork just dropped an article, and then let's look at. Let's see. I'm gonna click back. Let me see. I'm gonna type. Let's see. Vinyl, lacquer, and I'm gonna type fire. All right. So yeah, the Apollo Transco lacquer production facility destroyed in the fire. So that's the one I was just talking about. Now let's look at the Vinyl Factory's article. I'll read this. Housed in a warehouse in Banning, California, Apollo Transco produce lacquer discs that are integral to the mastering process. It is one of only 2 companies in the world supplying the global vinyl industry, the other being MDC, based in Japan. And as we know, Japan in general has been having a lot of financial issues and things like that as their population is getting older and older. So they're all backed up. So the whole industry could be backed up. Lacquer discs play a crucial role in the production of vinyl records and are cut by mastering engineers to create master discs, which are then supplied to pressing plants to make the stampers from which records are pressed. Okay. So an alternative process known as DMM, direct metal mastering, would sidestep the need for a lacquer, although this process has been described as favoring high frequencies and requires a specialized cutting head that is not widely available. The scale of impact caused by a short of lacquer discs on the vinyl industry remains to be seen, although disruption may be significant. All right, so according to Patch.com, there were no injuries to citizens or firefighters during the incident, and the cause of the blaze remains under investigation. The Vinyl Factory has contacted Apollo Transco for more information, so we'll get you some updates in the future if anything comes out. Now I'm going to check out Analog Planet, and Analog Planet saying the same thing. So yeah, all these articles are all talking about the same stuff. Here's an actual picture of the actual fire. I'll put up pictures and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a very serious issue. So everybody out there, let's just keep your ear open, and we'll see what happens. All right, peace.